And we are getting some interesting skip coming in here now. All right, the Old Tube Radio Network, oldtuberadio.net, and streaming video somewhere live at Channel 11 here in Central California.
You may not find us on your TV.
Video somewhere live at Channel 11 here in Central California.
OTR.
Video somewhere live at Channel 11 here in Central California.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, we'll take care of the wacky audio. Let me get my display meters up on the screen here and make sure that we do have audio. It's good. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radio's glowing in the dark, is our goal. After we check in the shortwave listeners, streaming audio at oldtuberadio.net. That's oldtuberadio.net, where there's a link to the video that we have going, I think. And, of course, if you are live and direct, or you can get into the receiver here in Fresno, California, we'll check you in. And all the better if you've got one of those classic tube radios from 1958 to 1978, I think, on the Citizen Band radio between single channels, 23 channels or 40 channels. That is why we're here to get you checked in. It is a beautiful, beautiful summer day here in Central California like none other. It's the temperature about 15 to 20 degrees below where they should be, and everybody is out doing something that probably doesn't include sitting by a hot radio. But we will see how many check-ins we get tonight. A lot of you out there listening at the live stream. I've got Echolink up. We've got some cross-band two-way check-ins, and we will commence to begin. If you're playing the home game, we are on week 4. It's the 24th day of June, 2023. And I'm going to check in our current 00. Craig is on my screen somewhere. Yes, he's right there, checking in the first time I see Craig, so we'll get you officially checked in, and thanks for getting us started off. And with that, are there any stations that need an early check-in? We already got Joseph, SWL24. Anybody out there that needs to get in and get out, over? Hello, radio. All right, 53 the Legend. I don't know where you're at, Bob, but we've got you checked in, over.
I'll go here in Fresno. I hope I'm getting out there, Dad.
Yeah, I hear you. You are getting out, and we've got you checked in. Thanks.
Sorry, have a good weekend.
All right, it's 5 o'clock in the morning in Copenhagen, Denmark, where Hans is checking in, Alpha 173. And it's 27 degrees Celsius, and no rain for the last week. Well, that's a good deal. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hopefully we'll check in some of your favorite radios. I want to get SWL1, the Cosmic check-in. SWL2, Mr. OBP, who is out there listening live over on the video chat, so say hello to Kevin. SWL3, Rob is probably working field day. It is field day today through Sunday morning at about 11 or 12 o'clock. So if you're SWLing and you hear the CQ field day, or you're listening to your CW and it's da-da-da-da-da-da-da, let's see, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, something like, or da-da-da, I think, CQFD, they're doing the field day thing today, so give somebody a point, won't you? We're doing our own field day. SWL number 5. That's Levon from the Hudson Valley, and he is, jumped over from old radio night, which I think is still going on. We will check in with JT shortly, see what radio he is on tonight. But I see you there, Levon, and we've got you checked in, SWL 5. You found the line. All right, SWL 7.
SWL7 checking in.
All right, and don't go away. I just realized that my receive audio is really weak, but I can fix that. So we're going to put on the Orban meter. Give us a 5 count over. You are our test radio here.
Testing the old radio. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll see what that does.
Oh, yeah, much better. Okay, I've got you adjusted. May have to bring my audio up, but that's what we use. If you're watching the video, that meter that's on there, the Orban meter, gives us something so I can kind of set all my levels. And Ed is always a good test. He's always full quieting and always is 100% modulated, so it works well. All right, thanks. We got you checked in.
And thank you.
And let me get back to the video here. Thanks to, let me get the right thing. Thanks to Harvey, the item that got a little bit toasty a couple of weeks ago is back on the proverbial OTR shelf. And if I look at the meters, it appears that it's actually working. It is now anyway. We've got the fire extinguisher ready, but it seems to be behaving after a few tests. And so that is a good thing. So thanks, Harvey, for perhaps making it so that the old tube radio network can be heard somewhere around the universe. Looking for SWL10. That's Chrissy and Dwayne up in Idaho. Had a great chat with Dwayne yesterday after the Ditch Bank sideband net here on Channel 11. Harvey and I were doing some testing, and Dwayne popped in with the same signal as Harvey, by the way, who is a couple of miles away, and Dwayne isn't more than a couple of miles away. So the band was looking pretty good. So Jake from State Farm out in the Pacific Northwest, give us a listen. Channel 11, 27085. You might hear us when the sun goes down. The band has been pretty good out there. And Mark, I hear you CQing the field day. I didn't check ARRL. I think I'm a 1D SJV. Were I to get on and make a designator here. Let's go to SWL 11. It's Dan and Dapper Dan. I'll put a hold. I'll put them on hold here because maybe they're out doing something. SWL 13, Mr. Cobra. And did I see? Let me check my thing. Did I see Mikey in on? He was somewhere. I'm giving him a check in. Oh, it was Facebook, but he'll probably come by and say hello, radio. Okay, there it is. My net streaming must be a little extra latency. SWL11, hello, Dan. Let me redo the check-in up in the box up there. And then Dapper Dan was probably looking pretty good tonight. I am good. I'm ready to. Do we have the pen tonight? They say we have a pen for the pocket protector. I will have to adjust my video. We still have the lighting going on for the. That's the problem when you add pictures to radio. You have to adjust lighting. But for those listening, 27085, I'm sure I look just fine because they can't see me. So I know I look fine. Let's go to SWL 14. Hello, Sean. Out there having a good time. Sean will probably be in shortly. Let's go to SWL 16, see if Charlie is hanging around these parts. All right, Charlie's checking in. Thanks. I'll put the X in the square. Everybody's looking good. A lot of people stopping by. 6520, hello, Big Rich. Good evening. The Old Tube Radio Network. And no fire. Well, there's fire in the wire rather than coming out of the wire where it shouldn't be. Who is joining us tonight on the big board? Coming in the door, up on the top, up in the balcony, Shinston, West Virginia. Come on down. There is plenty of stuff going on tonight. We'll find out. We'll check in with Bob and Steve and see what is happening here this evening. Who else? Fresno, Fairfax, Virginia. Hans is in Edmonton, Alberta. Thanks for stopping by. Plymouth, Minnesota. And right in the front, Belfast, Maine, coming up to you with the cue cards tonight. Looking good. I see you've got a new marker, whatever you do, because it's nice and bold. Let's go to SWL 17. SWL 18, I have a check-in for Mikey from Facebook. He's still on there, not on Facebook jail. And moments ago, how do we look? Looking pretty good. SWL19 Chet on cue cards tonight. Thank you. And JB, aloha from the Big Island. Where is the Big Island tonight? Listen. It is absolutely quiet from the mini grass. I say that now. I may have jinxed it. My guess is when the sun starts going down here, we will hear some mini grass. And let me just quickly bring up the DX map and see what is going on. I think I've got it here. Yeah, there it is. Look at that, where old radio night is, up to 6 meters, and the entire west coast is a blank. Nothing happening. See if it'll change when we get to the gray line. But it's good for check-ins. I'm trying to get through the roll call here because I can actually hear everybody. Let's go to Harvey, SWL20.
Number 20. Please check me in. Also 29 and 54. And I'll probably be back in the room in a little bit, but I'll be listening on the stream in the other room. Sound real good, Dennis?
It sounds real good, and no, like they say, the fire is staying in the wire where it should be, and likewise you're sounding good. So we'll get you checked in and talk about radios coming up. Thanks. And Derby Chat says, what happened to the Nixie tubes? Well, I turn them off when they go to zero, and then they recycle. So can we turn them on? I'll have Charlie get the Nixie tubes fired up. Just so you can see. So go to oldtuberadio.net. Can they turn them on just for a second? They'll pop in, and what they do is they actually, if you're on a phone or something, they push the video down. So we turn them off during the program, during the net here. But you can see that we're 6 days away. We're in the net now. So the next net, 6 days from now, Nixie tubes counting down. Okay, you can turn them off. Clear the Nixie tubes. There they are. So that's the Nixie tubes are running. At least we didn't have a fire there. SWL21 is Mr. JT from the Wasama Swamps of South Carolina, and I do believe he is alive and direct right now with Old Tube Radio Night. I see myself. I'm going to bring up the audio. And this always gets very confusing. SWL21. And I'll bring up the video. Well, you know what? You know what's nice? Is we don't have much of a delay tonight. So I've got two things. We're going to wait for JT to check in. And you should do that. So go ahead and check in, JT. I'm going to unkey so we can hear you. And then I've got something for you. So don't go away. Okay, listening for JT to check in, SWL21. So I've got two things. We're going to wait for JT to check in. So go ahead and check in, JT. I'm going to unkey so we can hear you. And then I've got something for you. So don't go away. Stop listening for JT to check in. All right, should be coming up here.
Unit 21. SWL 21 and Kakalaki checking in. Go ahead, Chad. Go ahead, not man.
KB6GFD W6KEG.
10-4. All right there, Dennis.
We got you, KB6GFD.
Standing by.
Hi, Dennis. Very good, at least on this particular frequently. Yeah, if you don't mind, man,
all right, JT, we got a crossband checking in.
74 would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
All right, we've got the crossband check-in, 25 and 74 sounding good. Great. Isn't it a great day? Have a great evening, KB6GFD.
You do likewise, Dennis. KB6GFD, W6KEG.
All right, let me go back to the control room because I've kind of gone down into. I'm going to turn off the audio for a second. There we go. Or turn it back off. I went into that Twilight Zone thing, you know, that mirror thing. So what I want to do, and you guys can watch on the video. I don't think I'll go back to you because it's confusing. But where did it go? Because it's saying the cue card says hold up the T-shirt. I don't have the T. Oh, you know it's over by the elevator. So Chet or Charlie is running to get it for me. All right, hold on. All right, you ran all the way to the elevator and back, and you're not out of breath. You are in good shape. All right, Old Radio Night. Gotta get my foot switch to work. All right, here we go. So, if you are a fan, like I am, of Old Radio Night, then you should have one of these, cool old Radio Night, not old tube, Old Radio Night T-shirts. Wow, this is a big one. I could sleep inside of this. Oh, in the back, it says they're saying, hold up the back. There it is, Old Radio Night with the Courier Royale. Let me pull that. Hold on a second. Let me get that meter out of there. For those watching the video or the replay, isn't that cool? I'd like to. Whoever did that drawing did a good job. Old Radio Night T-shirt live on YouTube. It's going on right now, and you should have. Why is it? 2XL. No wonder. You could two net controllers in this one, but that is a cool thing. And I believe, are they still available? Just check in with that. Guy in Wasama Swamps. Check in with a Dirty Diaper 21 and get your official Old Radio Night T-shirt. All right, let's get back to roll call here. Oh, this is my buttons and button too. I'm glad I have somebody telling me how to dress. All right, S21 is in. Did I click the button? Let me go back. Get on the thing. Oh, 20. I didn't even click in 20. Okay. SWL 22. Yes, and that's Tyler. If we are going to hear Alaska, it will definitely be tonight. SWL 23. And 23 Skidoo is right there. Let me grab my keyboard. He's checking in from the Bakersfield Zoo. Fresno has a zoo. It's called the Chaffee Zoo. It used to be called Fresno Zoo in honor of one of the directors there. At the Bakersfield Zoo, where the Espresso Trucking Company is playing a gig at the newly refurbished Great Ape exhibit. I hope they are far enough away from getting any poop thrown on them. Although they're kind of used to that. That's sort of the part of their act these days. So they're at the refurbished Great Ape exhibit. The new glass keeps the monkeys, okay, good, from flinging their appreciation. Well, that's good. I'm glad. I think if they came to Fresno, they would not be so lucky. Although they are due. They are due for a Fresno appearance, maybe even tonight. You just never know. All right, thanks, 23 Skidoo. If we get the short skip, maybe we will hear them tonight. The Espresso Trucking Company, who does exclusive music for the Old Tube, only heard on the Old Tube Radio Network. Pretty cool. Joseph, SWL 24, checked in moments ago, and as you heard on the crossband frequency, SWL 25 checked in moments ago. Trying to keep my page up to date here. Page 2, looking for SWL 27. I will get Dwayne checked in. He is a big field day guy. The last time I went to a field day, Dwayne and his wife were making food. They were cooking for everybody out of the field day. Pretty cool stuff. So I might be doing that this year. So if you're listening, Dwayne, I've got you checked in. Let's see, we're heading up the road. We're heading up 99, Highway 99 to Sacramento for SWL 28. And Gary is right there checking in. Just made it in from a delicious seafood dinner in the Bay Area with Bay Views. Yeah, well, okay, that's another, 2-hour drive? It's 4 hours for us, so just head out and you were good to go. But it was cool. What your temps in Sacramento are probably in the 70s. We're mid-80s here, so doing good stuff. Hans said he subscribed to JT's Old Radio Night. Yeah, just hit that subscribe button. But yeah, it's early. Maybe you can catch the replay. A lot of people see the East Coast, it's late, so they catch the replay of this. And for you guys, it's early. So that's the nice thing about having a replay, I suppose. Got to check in for SWL 29 and looking for SWL 30 direct. Hello, Dwayne. I just want to listen. I'm going to check Dwayne in because we heard him so well yesterday, and I didn't record it. I should have, but I bet he will be in later. And he said if the band conditions are good, he's going to fire up the Browning, get the Browning on the list tonight. Let's go to SWL 31. SWL 32. Shortwave listener 33. Myself, Bozo Control. And all those that might jump around here at Net Control tonight, we've got good things going on. And let me jump up. Radio Randy is in. SWL 99 with an X into the square. I did not get on 40 meters, so I'm hoping you guys gave the field day crew, wherever they might be, some good audio check-ins today from whatever your locations. They pop on 7199 and get a whole bunch of check-ins. Conditions might be good. Randy, don't forget to check in occasionally every half hour or so. See if 11 meters is open. Right now it's very quiet. We had Idaho coming in last night. Heard the Squamish boys up from British Columbia last night on the Ditchbanks sideband net, so we can't make a direct communications with them. And Randy, busy band. Yeah, I'm sure the band is open for field day. So we got you checked in and looking good. Maybe we'll get a live report. So you 99 is in, sounding good. Page 2 is where we are at, looking for SWL 34. Hello, Jimmy. Okay, no, it's real quiet here, but it pops in and pops out, and the numbers have been good. I'll get a check-in for Jimmy, who might be around in a moment or two. SWL 35, Mr. Bill from Red Monkey Communications. Let me go over to the other radio list and update that and see who is around. No, I'll refresh, but I don't see Cheyenne, Wyoming just yet. And I'm looking to see if they're on the list. Who's up in the balcony jumping in? Scarborough, Ontario, I believe, checking in. Let me just double confirm that. Late night, in Scarborough, partly cloudy, 72 degrees. Are you kidding me? At 11:24 p.m. Is that correct? Seems like it'd be colder than that. Now, guys out in Hawaii checking in. Up there in Kailua, Kona, where it's 82 degrees, but then again, it's like 2 hours early. No, 3 hours earlier, I think. So hope you're having a good time on the Big Island tonight. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network in Sylvania, Ohio. Hello to you, jumping in at oldtuberadio.net. SWL 36. SWL 37.
SWL 37, Dennis, and I would also like you to check in Joe. Well, I know his number 603, but I don't know what it is on the OTR number. But could you check him in also?
I will check him in also. Hopefully he's going to get ready for the big antenna project. We do miss him on the band, but it's nice having that taken care of for the next 20 or 30 years. Got the check-in for him, and got the check-in for you. Over.
Okay, yeah, but he's going. I don't know when he's going to be able to put it up yet, but they've got the whole facial boards all the way off the apartment complex and everything. So it may take a little bit, but he's going to get it back up soon, hopefully.
All right, sounding good. So thanks for the check-in and the check-in. The Old Tube Radio Network is where you are at, listening at 27085. Crystal controlled, perhaps, at Channel 11 in the Central Valley of California, streaming at oldtuberadio.net with a video link where you can see the inside of the control room, and even more importantly, the radios or the likenesses therein or thereof when we start checking in radios after the net. Would you be one of our radio operators? It's easy to do. You don't have to have checked in before, and just come by and say hi and bring your radio in, like so many other people have done since 1986. Have we got to our millionth radio yet? They're shaking their head no. Because when it is, we're going to have a big party here. I don't know how close we are. SWL 38, Sam in Byron. Hello. See if Sam's out there. And Dan, hello. Greetings from Santa Cruz. That's right, you are doing something out there. I saw the boardwalk and some other pictures where I bet it was pretty cool today. And was it beach weather in Santa Cruz for June? Usually it's kind of nice. It's cool. Just got a report it was 75 in Sacramento, so you guys might be down in the 50s. But you knew that. Anyway, thanks for joining us tonight. Always enjoy the pictures. Oh, and the auto. I like the auto show. All the, I'm a fan of the 49 Ford. There was the Woodies, the 49, the 50, the 51, the Plymouth, all looking Good out there. Thanks. Thanks, Dan, for jumping by the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 39 would be Mr. Dan. SWL 40. Hello, 40 from the basement. Or somewhere. Probably give us a shout on the Universal Media Net web. Squelch is at Squatch Zone. It says, nice warm night here in the valley. There are a lot of valleys. So whatever valley you're in, I'm glad it's warm. SWL 41. Road Dog 507. Let's see, Road Dog 507. Oh, and speaking of dogs, I got Brown Dog Audio. I see you're at a wedding, so you had a chance to pop away. Say hello, radio. I will get you checked in. And I hope you're having a good time at the wedding. So we got 57 and listening, looking for 41. Still very quiet. Oh, in the valley, the same valley I'm in, that we're all in. It's in Close. Yeah, don't you love the weather? Pretty cool stuff. Let's go to SWL 42. I've got a proxy for 42. Likewise for 43. I was in and out of the Ditch Bank's sideband net last night, so I don't know if Mr. 360 made it in or not. I bet he did, so we're going to check in. Ray, if you can hear me, probably not, but anyway, we're getting you checked in. Over. And the mud buckets are out there tonight. How about 45? Hello, Paul, SWL 45, over. And Paul, if you are listening on one of the various venues that are available to jump into the Old Tube Radio Network, we do have you and Kelly checked in. So thanks for joining us. Let's go to SWL 46. Shortwave listener 47. And I did not record it because he caught me by surprise, but he was checking in from about 7,000 feet. That away, somewhere up in the Sierra National Forest up at Sequoia, sounding good on the crossband, and just kind of checking out whether it would be possible maybe to do a remote tube radio check-in from up there at some point, which he will do. So, Mike, thanks for checking in. SWL 48. I got Sam checked in on from Facebook. SWL 49. Hello, Brian. 49. Repeat again. Over.
That's me, 49er.
Hey, all right. I got you checked in. You and sweet country mama. We got the X in the square. Over.
Thank you.
All right. 49 is in. SWL 50. Hello, Mark. I'll give Mark a check-in. I think he was on Ditch Banks last night. All right, let's see if we're making it to Sangertown. It's kind of quiet, but, you know, I'm a mud duck. SWL 51.
SWL 51, check in. We got you about 5-6 pounds out here, Dennis. I got a little noise for tonight. I got about S2, S3, so you're coming over it.
Yeah, likewise. You are well over the noise, about S6 or something. I guess if you watch the video, you can give yourself a signal report, because I try to keep the meter up and set to whatever it is to set. All right, Dave, you are sounding good out in Sanger. SWL 52. Aaron checked in early, gave me a field day report. So I gave him a contact. I guess it's okay on VHF, right? But he said the bands have been a little weak, so you never know. But anyway, 52 is checking in. And then, as you heard moments ago, SWL 53, Mr. Belair checking in. Let me see. Oh, and the ESB roving taco wagon is parked out on the gravel outside the window there, and we are checking in Lake Almanor. And like I told Randy, who was at the radio tonight. Mark, I hope you guys gave some field day wideband audio check-ins when people got down there on 7199. So hopefully you are a 1 Delta. Is that it? From I don't know. What is it? What are you? PLU? What is your county? What is your designator? Because unless you're on battery, I hope you have some power. And where is it? I have it here. The premier West Coast voodoo audio guy listening in right now. And there aren't many of these Voodoo Lab stickers around. I am still trying to earn mine, and I have a ways to go before I am in the ranks of 71.99, or I guess 47.99 is what it says, but for Lake Almanor. So hello to Mr. Mac and the gang out there at the shack tonight. Thanks for joining us on your Old Tube Radio Network. Page 3 is where we are at. Got a proxy check-in for 54 Larry. How about SWL 55? One DSV. So what is SV? Oh, Shasta? I don't know. I don't know what SV is. We're SJV here. We're San Joaquin Valley, but not SV. All right, 1D. So we got a point, I guess, going on here. SWL 55. SWL. Here's a guy that might have done some. Oops. Got to stay keyed up. Here's a guy that might have done some field day stuff today, or else we'll get our first contact. SWL 56.
Evening, Dennis and the net. No field day for me.
All right, well, you should also be a 1DSJV, so you got your first contact. All right, thanks, Phil, out here in Fresno. Over to SWL 57. Brown Dog Audio checked in early. He's sneaking away. He's behind the wedding cake, saying just left from a good friend's wedding, had a blast, and now headed home. All right, well, obviously you had enough. You didn't have enough champagne so that you would be not headed home. Or else maybe you are not the designated driver, but you had a good time. So that's what counts. So good weekend to you, and glad you had a good time at the wedding out there somewhere in Kentucky, I would imagine. SWL 58. Give a proxy, a proxy check-in for Jeremy. And fresh from his appearance over at the old radio night, and probably also wearing his ORN T-shirt. Maybe he's got two of them. I don't know. Mr. Uncle Hairball 59. We've got you checked in here at the Old Tube Radio Network. And SWL 60. We have checked in. If you're listening, Joe, on the Universal Media Netweb, X in the square. Looking forward to getting you back on the air. Let's try SWL 61. I think I would hear Dino whether he was inside or outside. So, hello, Dean. He may come back when he's at the house. SWL 62. Shortwave listeners 63 is the picture of. Okay, I got the right picture.
K6USY.
Might have a confirmation crossband. Hold on. Kilowatt Bravo 6, Germany, France, Denmark. Hello, radio.
Yeah, hello, radio from behind the golden microphone and just a little bit late. SWL 52, checking in.
All right, well, not late enough that we won't put you back in. We did get you checked in because you were on earlier, so hopefully, are you listening to Field Day? Are the stations still going?
Yep, the bands were wall-to-wall people screaming into the microphone and yelling with their computers.
All right, well, this is not the yelling with your computer frequency, but we will yell a different way. Thanks for your check-in on the Old Tube Radio Network, KB6GFD.
Roger, K6USY.
All right, I would never make a good drummer. You've got to have all hands and feet going at the same time. So let me get the official 52 check in. See, look at that. We've got the foot switch going. So It feels a lot better. I just got to get used to it. We are doing the direct net roll call. Tube radios are coming up, so if you have one, it should be warming up. Where did we leave off? SWL 63. I'll get, is that the North Georgia station? I think it is. Mr. Butterbean will get Butterbean checked in. I want to say hello to, who is it? Two Whiskey 2600. Hello, Yank, who got you in there looking good on the old Tube radio network tonight. And who is that from Panama? We talked to, on 40 meters, a couple nights ago, we talked to Chile, or Chile, if you want. And so Panama checking in, and that is Flaquito on Hotel Papa 4 Echo Mike Charlie. Hello, radio. Looking good. Thanks for joining us on the Old Tube Radio Network. Hope to catch you guys. Listen in on 40 meters sometime on 7199. We get some conditions. Join the audio guys in 7199 from the west coast of California of the United States. SWL 64, the guy that checked in is 00, gets the 2 for 1. Got another X in the square, Craig. Thanks. Craig's out in Wisconsin. Shouldn't have too much of a problem. There's one guy I talk to occasionally from Wisconsin, has a pretty big signal. The sun's got to go down, of course, but might hear you out there. Let's go to SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66. And checking in Van Man, who says, they can make it from Kentucky to California, but sometimes you may have to, sit up straight, straighten your tie a little bit to get the extra distance, but it does work. SWL 67. Got an early check-in for SWL 68, Michael out there in New York. Thanks for listening. And Kenny was in bright and early from Tulsa, checking in. So, Kenny, if you're watching the replay, you're checked in. And if you are watching the live, you're still checked in. If you are checked in no matter what. That's what happens. Sometimes you just can't get out of it. SWL 70. I'll give Mark a proxy. He moved and his antenna was down and all sorts of things. Hey, there's the official Cobras, and there's the official check-in from Mike. Make it official there. Says, I am wall-to-wall and treetop tall. On 11 meters, that's what you want. You want to be, is it 10.8 and smoking? 10.2? You do not want to be 10.9. So you got to get the right numbers here. That he's going to check out 6 meters. I can tell you 6 meters isn't happening around here, but it might be somewhere else. We'll take a look at the DX map. Clovis, California, up there in the balcony tonight. We're going to find out what's happening down here on the mezzanine, so stay tuned for that coming up with Bob and Steve. Looking for SWL 71. And Stan is there. Let me get, if I can hit the right numbers. My screen, something's going on with the internet here. Okay, get it official. And what's Stan doing tonight? Checking in. Not sure if he's doing field day or not out there in Dallas, Georgia. But anyway, Stan, thanks for joining us as always. SWL 72. Shortwave listener 73. Now think about this foot switch. I got to get some Velcro. It slides around. And a little skating. SWL 74. We got a check-in for Miss Jilly from the cross band. Oh, you know what? I'm going to get 73 checked in. John is probably doing field day. He was doing, I know he's doing the VHF contest last week, so maybe he's taking a break, but probably doing field day as well. Let's try SWL 75. SWL 77. SWL 78. And Richard was in from Wild Wildemore right at the beginning of the net here. I think that's where he was checking in from. I'll have to scroll back and see, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'll do. If I make it through the net, maybe we'll try to give some people some points on 40 meters if the band is open. Still quiet here. I'm waiting. You can see the sun is going down. We should be hearing the mini graphs coming up soon, I think. SWL 79. Philip was in for an early check-in. Hello, Mr. DC. And SWL 80. I will turn the page and we will continue, but before we do, what do they say, a copyrighted feature of the old Tube Radio Network. Of course, Bob and Steve will have something to say about what's been going on this week.
27.085 OTR, Channel 11.
Whoopi, what has been going on? It has been a nice day, a busy week. Episode 172. On June 24th, 2023, the tennis court has been busy. It's been cool. It's been perfect tennis weather. Were you to be able to play tennis, unlike me, it's been great weather. So I just kind of dress up, in that tennis outfit and carry a racket around, and people say, oh, good, look at that guy. Wednesday evening, 8 p.m. at the stadium, we are having our second annual softball game between the Fresno Fire Department and the Fresno Police Department. Well, that'll be interesting. I think my neighbor works with the fire department. The gate receipts and vendor receipts will be donated to the Veterans Hospital, a very, very good cause. Fresno has a very good Veterans Hospital here in the Central Valley. As the mild heat wave continues, although it ain't going to continue for long, I was looking at the weather forecast, but the next couple days, it's going to be, 80 degrees, just really wacko. They're keeping regular hours at the pool. Yeah, nobody wants to. As soon as the sun goes down, they're out of that pool. At the bar tonight from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Parker's Bistro. So there's street tacos. That's the second street taco we've gotten tonight. The street tacos with all the extras. How did you know, Mark? Chocolate cake with homemade ice cream. I went in. I will fess up. I went in a little bit early, and I had that look on my face. And they gave me a nice little slice and some ice cream and said, come back later. So thank you for that. The ice cream, homemade ice cream, and the beer and wine is on Bob and Steve. You know what? If you're getting the cake, ask for some milk. There is some there. I told them to get some. Do not try wine and beer with the cake and ice cream. I did, and it gets some milk. But anyway, it is good. And you can join us after the net at any time. Of course, as they say, do not forget to feed the fish. Thank you, Bob and Steve, as always.
27.085 OTR, Channel 11.
Back in a moment. All right, got me drinking my, what is this? What did you guys bring me? Iced tea with lemon in it. Okay, is that something they're putting in there? I don't know. Yeah, it's in that container that if it falls over, it doesn't have that lid that it will make a big mess. I'm putting it way far away from the klutzy hands of a net control. Radio's coming up. So don't go away. If you're a radio fan, if you are a radio operator, please don't go away because we need some check-ins tonight. Everybody's outside the barbecue. It is just quiet. Even Michael said that he was up at the park, up at Sequoia. He said there's nobody there. So where is everybody? Who knows? SWL 81. I think I need to proxy check in 82. SWL 82. Yeah, I think there's a race. There's something going on tonight. So I get Ron checked in. A reminder, Ditch Bank's sideband net, Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Ron at the controls, 36th lower, British Columbia. Squamish got to check in last night, sounding really good, live and direct on sideband. So you should endeavor to listen in, local or no, and see if you can hear things and get a check in. Let's go to SWL 83. SWL 84. I will get Jerry, the Cheerios Kid, checked in, and likewise 86, 87, and 88, which is the Mountain Maid, Tandy Girl, and Snowy Owl, respectively. SWL 80... 89. Yeah, that comes after 88.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR, go ahead, over.
Can I get a late check-in, please, Dennis, for 55?
Yeah, I know that voice. Oops. Let me make sure I'm keyed up here. I know that voice, and I'm on. I just have to flip the page. It is so easy on the old Tube Radio Network to put that X in the square. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Dennis. I can barely hear you.
All right. I am probably not doing the right thing. All right. Now, I hear you just fine. Thanks. All right, Road Dog 507, checking in. I think we got you there. I will make the official check-in. Or did I give you a proxy? I don't know. We are on page 4, and my memory does not go back. Oh, you know what? No, I got you. I got the excellent score. Somebody got you checked in. So we will continue. 90, SWL 90. You're taxing my net control abilities here. SWL 91. Felix is in. I saw him pop up on the big screen. And what's Felix doing tonight? He's saying hello to the SWLs and the old tube radio operators. I don't know Felix, if you do field day or not, but it's happening. And let's see, UDX 43 Mud Bucket. I talked to Dwayne last night. Harvey and I were out here testing, and Dwayne popped in. So if the band is around or open, they'll be jumping in. So I'm expecting that at some point they'll be jumping in on the chat as well. Let's go to SWL 92. And the Echo link is up. Yeah, Tony's ready to go there. SWL 93. It's South Carolina, Tony. SWL 95. And that should be somewhere out in Florida. Oh, it just popped on my screen. Warthog 95. Checking in from Orlando. Good evening, everyone. I hope it's all is going well out in Orlando this evening. Things are cool here in Fresno. SWL 96. And I would think I would be able to hear Dennis if he was out there checking in, but just can't get in. All right. Interesting. So maybe we've got no conditions if you're more than 4 miles away. All right, Dennis, got you checked in. Band is just super quiet here tonight. Let's try Boston. Boston is an easy commute, especially when you have the Universal Media NetWeb. SWL 97. Hello, Jim. And Mark saying hello to the green room. The green room is sort of that way behind the stage here, and down a step and around. If you come in the other side by the elevator, take the stairs down from the mezzanine or up in the balcony. A lot of people up in the balcony tonight. What's going on up there? Or is it just, it's not so hot in here that you can actually stand it. All right. SWL 98, Tracy, did I see you checking in? I think I did. I don't recall hearing you last night, but 98, we got you checked in. Over. Oh, and I missed Mid-Atlantic Radio Repair saying likes the program, likes the net here. Well, thanks to our shortwave listeners like yourself and our tube radio operators that we are about to talk with, that is the program. I'm just kind of, I'm a knucklehead sitting in a chair to make sure that all the people that should get some airtime do that. SWL 99, Radio Randy, listening from Arizona, where we to have conditions. And let's try, let me see if I even have it set up here. No, I didn't check my audio tonight, but I think it's there. So let's give a try to the Echo link. See if we can get a hold of Tony, KD4BAO, KB6GFD. See if we can find out what is happening in South Carolina tonight.
Good evening, Dennis. Please check in SWL 100. This is Tony, KD4BAO. Back to net control.
All right, Tony, I hear you. I think my internet is working kind of glitchy tonight, so hopefully you can hear me. You are sounding good. We are getting ready to, as always, fire up for Tubes on the Air. Thanks for checking in. KB6GFD. Tony on the Echo Link from South Carolina. Sounding good. He's got his Tubes on the Air hat on and ready to go. We will be doing that just shortly. Next up on the list, over in Arkansas, by Arkansas Way. Hello, John, SWL 102. Checking in, Scranton, Arizona, with saying hello to the SWLs. Just finished his week at work and now sitting in the air chair. That's kind of good. Flop from the drafting chair to the air chair, or whatever it is, ready to enjoy a few days off. Yes, I hope you have a few days off and they are enjoyable. And Van Man had a knucklehead Harley. What's a knucklehead Harley? It sounds as though it may have been named after somebody. I hope not in a memorial sense. Were I to try and get on a Harley, it would definitely be a knucklehead event. So maybe that's the one I should get if I ever have one. Thanks, John, for checking in. SWL 103. Put some training wheels on my knucklehead Harley. SWL 109.
Good evening, Dennis. Crawdad 109 checking in.
Yeah, like Chuckles and Vinegar with those training wheels. 109. Sounding good up there in Albury and abouts. Thanks for beaconing the airwaves down to Midtown Fresno. We put a check-in at 109. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well, Mud Bucket, I'm wondering, where is Australia, Barbados, West Indies, New Zealand, and Hawaii tonight? The sun has gone down, and we're still... you can still see a little bit of light out there. What time is it? Almost 9 o'clock. But see, the days are getting shorter. It was getting lighted. The sun is going down a little after 10 o'clock, or 9 o'clock, rather. SWL 110. SWL 111. I wanted to try direct just in case, but Bob did check in on the video stream. Said hello, radio. SWL 113. I hope this guy can hear me. SWL 114. We're going to check in for Dwayne. He might be enjoying an evening out at the Berenda Slough. So if you're listening in, Dwayne, and thinking, I can't make it, you got to check in. That's my receiver doing a bad thing. So I'm sure whatever transfer you have, wherever you might be, would make it for sure. Let's go all the way over to SWL 128, who might be on field day. Let me see. I'll get John checked in. Let me see if he's on the screen. Yes, indeed. Oh, no field day here. Oh, no. The power went out just after 2 and didn't come back until after 6. So if you are on shore power, I guess they call it, that would be a D. You are Class D. So were you to have a battery that puts you in a different A, B, C, D category. So you could have still been on field day, but you might have been, so QRP with 100 milliwatts on the AA batteries that nobody would have heard you. So darn it. So hopefully you get a chance to get back in, or however you're doing it, get a check-in or check somebody in. All right. Well, thanks for that. And, there's always next year, right? At least you're not having a fire. Let's go to, I won't tell you about that. Let's go to SWL 131 out of Clovis. SWL 133 out of Northwest Fresno. SWL 135 out of North and maybe West Fresno.
SWL 135. If this thing is working, I'm checking in.
It's working good. As they say, don't touch that dial and don't touch a thing. More from that radio coming up. I can guarantee you that. Sounds good. Let's try. I got a proxy in for 137, the Phantom. Let's see if Tony is listening in SWL 145 up in Coarse Gold. All right, nothing heard from Tony. Oh, you know what? Let's see if I've got his questions. Here we go. Friday questions and answers. Tony does the net. So what were the questions? Friday question. A vacuum tube. Oh, this is a great question. The vacuum tube that functions similarly to a silicon-controlled rectifier is called what? So a vacuum tube that functions similarly to a silicon-controlled rectifier is called a what? And the answer is a thyratron, T-H-Y-R-A-T-R-O-N, thyratron. Thyratrons are used as half-wave rectifiers that can be rapidly switched on and off by a feedback circuit. So I know some people like that. So there you go. So check your radios to see if you've got any thyratrons or thyristors or something in there. Well, okay, thanks. Thanks, Tony, for your question of the weekend. We will get you checked in if you're listening somewhere. SWO 147, Neil. I will put the X in the square. I don't recall if he has scrolled past my screen out there in Fayetteville, up there in Kakalaki, but I'll go back and make sure to get you checked in. Maybe you are doing some music tonight, don't know. Then we go to Snow Beast. Hello, 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. 188 checking in.
All right, couldn't get my noise blanker off in time. Checking in and sounding good. And it is quiet out there tonight. Okay, what's coming up next? It's 11. Where's it? 11:57. Oh, where Mud Bucket is. It's almost tomorrow. Some of you, it's almost tomorrow. So we're getting to the tube radios just in time. Up the hill, where it is even more pleasant than is down here in the valley. And we're getting mountain weather. We've got mountain weather this whole month of June. SWL 195. Jim Coarse Gold Starlander. Let me get him checked in. And I did not hear Shockwave out there last night, but that doesn't mean he wasn't around. Hello, Jeff, SWL 226. And anybody that needs to get in right now, I will be listening before we switch over to the tube radios. OTR standing by. All right, a brief moment of respite. So I'll be back. I want to get the tube areas checked in, get everything ready to go, and we'll be checking in tube radios. It is still quiet. Let me go back. You know what? I just can't believe it. When I go to the DX map here, and we will pop it in. Look at that. Totally blank on the West Coast. A few things happening. 6 meters some open, but totally quiet on the West Coast for some sunspot numbers that, at least to me, say otherwise. But what do I know? All right, back in a moment on your old Tube Radio Network. And hello, 1843. Stick around. We've got tube radios coming up. All right, so many buttons to press and so little time. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know,
OTR.
brought to you on
27.085 megahertz.
brought to you by
The Old Tube Radio Network.
All right, sorry about that live. I turned the wrong way, and my foot goes off the foot switch. I've got to learn how to do that. The Old Tube Radio Network, as you heard Mr. Announcer and X4000 and Stan Freeberg and Billy May and a host of others let you know what is going on here tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network will be hopefully checking in at least one radio tonight. It is quiet all around. The band is quiet. People are out doing stuff. So were they to remember to jump in on that Saturday night place to be, Old Tube Radio Network, we are ready for your check-ins on those classic radios. OTR standing by.
OTR control. OTR control. This is SWL 135. How copy?
I copy you just fine, sir. SWL 35, otherwise known as the Green Arrow. Step up into the air chair. Don't take a transmission just yet. They're saying I forgot to do a little bit of housekeeping. I know what you're talking about. Here. So first thing I have to do, and we'll be right with you. I've got to unkey and turn on the tube radio behind me. I couldn't find it. All right, then they say the effects light is off, so we'll turn that on. Hey, yeah, I see a little effects light. And what else? Oh, the our sponsor, our pocket protector sponsor tonight is, and you will like this, Cliff, it is Thanks from Harold CB Radio Sales and Service Air Conditioning and Body Shop. So, wreck the car, wreck the air conditioning, and get a CB radio all at once. Let me get the less than stellar close-up cam. This is a pretty neat pen for, where is it? It's never in focus. Why do we even bother to use this? There's no way to get that into focus. All right, it never works. It's like that thing on Get Smart. It's like the cone of silence. It never works. But there it is, Harold's CB Radio, Sales Service, Air Conditioning, and Body Shop. Oh, where's it at? I'm sorry. In South Haven, Kansas, 67140. So, anybody in South Haven? Is Harold still around? I don't know. All right. It is time for our first radio. I've signed into the list for June 24th, 2023. Do you have a pocket protector, Cliff? Take it away.
Not currently on me. That sounds like a great place, man. Why don't we have a place like that around here anymore? Your one-stop shop for all your needs. Wonder if they have a grocery store, too. Anyway, okay, this is SWL 135 on, as you probably guessed, a Browning from Laconia, New Hampshire. This is the R68T68 Golden Eagle. First of its name, Slayer of Dragons, I don't know. Oh, great. Now I've got a train. Oh, yes, I am out here in the CB cabana as usual. Let's see, this thing has 14 tubes altogether, I think, 11 in the receiver and 5 in the transmitter, and all 23 channels available for transmitting and receiving. Back to you.
A good deal. The R68T68. I have to talk to Jimmy Fiedler, who, or maybe Toby, who really knows the Brownings, and see which model between the R27, S23s, the 68, the Mark II was probably had the shortest run. Not sure. I'm not sure if it was this one, but that to me, that would make it more valuable, and just in the fact that they probably made less of them and they're harder to find. But Sounding good. I got a picture of the post-Eagle, pre-Mark II, and the first one they called the Golden Eagle, as is probably represented on your speaker over on the receiver, right?
Yeah, there is an Eagle on the speaker grill. And, this is a Series 2. This is a Series 2 Golden Eagle R68T68 because the little red light on the transmitter says on air. I've been told that that's part of the deal. And the on the receiver, it is a non-adjustable RF gain control. Well, I mean, it's got 3 positions as opposed to continuously changeable, if you know what I mean. It's distant, normal, and local settings. And I believe, from what I've been told, that makes it a Series 2. And the microphone is an aesthetic D104 Golden Eagle, nice and shiny microphone. Back to you.
All right, the D104ium. We have time tonight if you want to do some microphone testing or swapping. It sounds good. We got some thumbs up. And 100% from some of the listeners. So no problems there. And I was going to ask you a question, which you already asked yourself. So let's see if I can answer it. I'm impressed. They kept, for the most part, the price of that radio under $400 back in 1967, 68. Just before the big price increase and everything, the Browning Golden Eagle Series 2 transceiver has the lighted on-the-air light rather than the spotlight on the Series 1, and some receivers have the variable RF gain. Others have the 3-position switch, as you mentioned. There's an optional wood cabinet and an optional speaker. Were you to have that over?
Yeah, unfortunately, I've never actually seen one of those. No, I don't. These are the standard brown metal cabinets. I've only seen pictures of the wooden cabinets and that cool speaker. I've never found one of those cool speakers. If I ever find one, I'm going to snag it. But until then, this one will just have to do. Oh wow, somebody's blowing up stuff. I don't know how much of that comes over the mic. Anywho, speaking of mics, do you mind if I've got the original banana type Browning, made by who? Electro Voice, if I'm not mistaken. Microphone. Okay, if I plug that in real quick?
Yeah, not a problem. I went to the Orban meter, looking at your LKFS, which occasionally reaches the -20. On the peaks. We did an S-meter cam as well. So go ahead and change it while I'm yapping about here. You will change on the D104, and I think you said to the what do they call it, banana mic, the one that it fits in the stand and comes out of the stand, and we'll see if, what, and how much difference there might be on your Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68. Back to you when it's appropriate. Over.
Yeah. This is the banana mic. Got the little Browning BL logo right on the face of it, and a non-coily type cord. It's a straight type cord, and yes, I do have the matching little base that it fits in most of the time. How does this thing sound in comparison? Back to you.
All right, a little more mid-range. Level-wise, and I had the Orban meter going. Let me go back to the picture. It didn't drop much. Maybe a dB or so not much of a drop. It definitely affects the sound of the ping, which I think you can now get a little bit more wild because you're not having to swing around the base of the D104. And I didn't check the S meter because that's, I don't know, doesn't make much difference. But I don't know. Either way, I actually now, we did an earlier test. And to me, I heard more difference where I like the D104 better, but between the two now, the difference is not as much in my ear. You know what? I wasn't wearing headphones before. Maybe that's why. So it sounds good. Take another transmission.
Yeah, this thing's a lot easier to mess around with than the D104. I got to be careful with that thing. Okay, so
I am reading on my meter the teensiest bit high in frequency. You can tell me about that if you wish. I got 0852. We're somewhere right around there, so just the teensiest bit high in frequency, but pretty close to right on, though. What do you think?
All right, get back into AM mode here, and I was trying to see where I lost the zero. Sorry, I was trying to see where I lost the zero beat, and it was about right where you said, just before I got to 27.085.2. So you are correct in your assumption. Maybe 150 cycles on the high side, but not much. It's very, very good.
I'll figure out a decent ping on this thing one of these days. Okay, so that's it, the R68 T68 Series 2. The original Browning Golden Eagle. Coming at you with the original as intended type microphone. But like I say, I can hook up the D104 again if you like. Anything else you want to know about it?
No, why don't you, just for the sake of the SWLs that might be listening, to go ahead and go back. Now we take a I'm not going to talk in between it this time, so take another transmission on your current microphonium, the banana microphone, and then do your hot switch to the D104 and come on back.
Okay, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, this thing's pretty right on. I've got channel 11 right on here on the receiver. Thanks to Harvey, he got things lined up very, very well on this thing. It sounds great, both transmit and receive. An external speaker would be a lot of fun, but the built-in speakers are nice and big and have plenty of audio. Now I will switch microphones as quickly as I can. Okay, is that fast enough for you? This is the Golden Eagle D104 once again. Golden Eagle to go with the Golden Eagle. What do you think? How do I look on all the LKFS and all that sort of stuff? Back to you.
Okay, that was a good test because then we can hear the difference. It's hard to say. It's a brighter audio, but it drops so much low frequency out. It almost sounds like you switched to a totally different radio. So interesting. I don't know what preference I have. My guess is, were it to be really noisy, and I think you mentioned this before, if it was skip time, that microphonium you're on now might punch through a little bit better. But my ear got used to the other one. So it is a toss-up to me because they're different enough, but working well enough that it's hard to say. It's not like one isn't working well or a clear winner. On my end, over.
Well, yeah, that's kind of why I brought them both out. You never know what the conditions are going to be. Like I thought, if I got to fight my way through Hawaii or something like that, this, theoretically anyway, this mic here should cut through it a little better than the other one. Plus, it's got power and everything. So I brought them both out just in case, but since it's nice and quiet, yeah, I can just go back to the banana mic if you wish.
No, I think you're good to go there. Let's not tax the connectors. Although the Browning has that interesting 2-pin kind of offset connector that works on a couple other radios. There are some ham radios that use that same configuration as well, and there is nary a sputter or a crackle or anything going on as you changed items. So I think we're doing good. We won't tax it. Radio number 1, the Browning, first known as the Golden Eagle before the Mark II, and after the Eagle R68 T68 doing flawlessly in multiple key-ups, and our first and hopefully not only radio tonight.
No, it won't be.
All right, that's a good thing.
Hey, Harvey. Oh, you're overdoing it when you use the banana mic. Too much potassium.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to mention two quick things there, Dennis.
This is the two quick thing frequency. Go ahead.
First of all, nice signal tonight. You're 10 over, 10 dB over 9. It's the best I've seen. I'm wondering if you got your amp happening again, or what's up with that? Because earlier you were like an S9, and now you're 10 over. A very nice signal. And number two, I hope the SWLs commenting out there will give an opinion on the microphones. I will be reading them later when I watch the YouTube video, and I'd like to know what they all think about which mic they think they like best. Anywho, I'll go ahead and let Harvey take it. Glad you're in town, Harvey. Didn't know if you were here or not. So I will get out of here. Thanks for letting me check it in, and see ya.
All right, I got to adjust the foot switch. Thanks. Sounding good. I wanted to officially get a check-in because I did see him up on the screen. So Neil, it could be my fault. I things scroll by sometimes before I actually see them, and then I'll go back after the net and look and say, oh yeah, they were there. So let me give you the official 147 check-in up at the box, and thanks for joining us here on late for you, not too late for us. The sun just went down here on the old Tube Radio Network, so very good. All right, where are we going? We're going to Radio 2. Before we do, they say the jingle singers would like, because they're standing at the microphone to do something so they can go get a piece of cake. All right, the jingle singers want to have their cake and eat it too. Here we go. Back in a second.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
The station for you is
OTR.
Right station for you, and maybe even you. Hello, Harvey, over.
Roger. Excuse me, Dennis. Yeah, I'm here. My Golden Beagle, the R68T68. There are many others like it, but this one is mine. And then I have to shoot it. Oh no, that's the movie. Okay. Anyway, this one has the unamped D104 on it, and it's the model with the on-air light and the 3-position RF gain switch. Anyway, yeah, you're still doing what you were doing before, and Cliff sounds super good. Must be that radio. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go get something to eat, and I'll be back in a little bit there. Back to you, Dennis.
Back to me in the studio. No, I agree. He sounded good on both microphones. That's why it was hard for me to pick a favorite, because they were both pretty good depending on... I think it would depend on the speaker you're listening to and the headphoniums you're wearing as to what would work, but it works great. That, of course, the Radio Run always sounds good. Before you go, and we were talking about switching the microphones, in your opinion, would you recommend one or the other, say the D104 or the, is that the Electric Voice, the banana microphone? Is there one you recommend trying first for anybody that might be thinking about picking up a Browning? I suppose it might come with something, and that would be good enough. But if they did not have a microphone or were looking for something, what would be the choice? I suppose, see, I'm answering my question here. I would suppose if you wanted everything to match, you would get the Browning desk mic with it, right?
Well, the banana mic. Problem is with banana mics. What did I just do? You have to watch out about the element. Once the element goes bad, you got problems trying to replace it, but you have to be real careful with the mic. If it's good when you get it, you gotta treat it with kid gloves, and so it lasts. But the D104s are too shrill, too harsh, unless you put the heel or Heil replacement in it, and then it's a little better, but then it does alter the ping. A dynamic amplified or unamplified mic is good. You get not so many highs, but it does alter the ping to where most people don't like it.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a noticeable difference between what Cliff was doing, but to me they both sounded good. So I think you probably have to just decide what is it you're doing and how you want it and what your voice sounds like. And the main thing for the Browning, like I said, with the D104 and amplified turned up, the radio does pretty good with not flat topping and overmodulation, but it can get pretty harsh to listen to if you're really overdriving the thing. Sounding good. Radio number 2, Browning, the Golden Beagle R68, T68, doing good. So go get some food. It is 9:25 here on the West Coast, so hopefully we'll get you before you have dessert. Come over here. We've got chocolate cake and something else in the green room, so you can do that. All right, thanks for checking in.
I think I just keyed on somebody. Oh, okay. Well, no, I won't bucket mouth. Okay, I'm going to get something to eat. Be back after a while.
All right, very good. Do we need to adjust the video? Probably not. 23 Skidoo mentioning, is there a way, and no, I wouldn't mention this because I hate to say, yeah, I'm going to do something and not do it, but it's apropos. Is there any way to show a received audio bandwidth on the stream? And we were doing that for a while when Larry had his SDR hooked up, which was remote from where I'm at. But I have purchased, I'll spill the beans here, I have purchased a device that will do just that for that purpose. But I actually have to put it together and wire some things up and get some cabling and things like that. So it may take a little while, but that is in the works so that we can go to a screen that will show the bandwidth of the signal. And as we did before, it will also show the stability of your transmitter when it keys up, if it's drifting up or down frequency. So it should be very interesting. And I think I'll be able to, I hope I'll be able to interface it in to the video here. As far as I know, it shouldn't be a thing that I can't do, but it will be coming up. So what do they say? Great minds think alike. So thanks, Skidoo, but that is in the works, and the device, or a device that I need to do that, is actually sitting around here in a box, ready to be installed. Jingle Singers are going to do their thing, and then we will be listening for radio number 3 on your old tube radio network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Number 7.
And no doubt, like the Jingle Singers just mentioned, the station for you is the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello, Mr. Ed.
Hello, OTR. Bringing you the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the D104 Golden Eagle attached.
And fired up and tuned up quite well on the D104. I will get the picture of the Mark III. You know what? There hasn't been a big Browning evening for months, and it appears that could be happening tonight. I'm going to bring up and see which SSB radio it is. Okay, I'll bring up the one from Cliff because it actually shows the Golden Eagle microphonium if someone is not familiar with that very cool and I guess somewhat rare an unobtainium microphone these days for the Browning. Over.
Yes, they were definitely a limited edition that was put out in 1776 for the bicentennial. Yeah, they're limited, numbered, and so I'm not sure how many there are left out there. But this one is mine, and it's on this radio.
And we're glad that it is, and we're glad that that radio is close enough to be heard on most Saturdays. And the Old Tube Radio Network right here in Central California, 27085, oldtuberadio.net, and the little video thing that just seems to be happening. Let's see, I am looking at the radio. Your Golden Eagle, okay, this was the question. When you key up, there is an on-the-air light, and the one that we're showing on the picture has a black surround or a dark background with red on the air. I'm wondering if yours is similar, or is there a different mode for that on the air light? Over.
Yes, no, that one I know is on Cliff's radio, and mine is exactly the opposite. The on the air is in black, and the whole thing is lit up in red. Sorry, I can't even speak.
Okay, and so could be a modification. I know the coloring, the tone of the radio itself is a little bit different between some radios. I don't know if it's a batch of how they silk screened or whatever they did, or I know a photo sometimes will change the coloring, but on the air light, that's a different thing. That's something I'll have to ask Jimmy as well. You are radio number 3. Sounding good on the Mark III, and this, of course, was built from 1972 to about 1976 when that microphonium came out, and they had to start thinking about 40-channel transmitters per the FCC. Unlike the R68, T68 a few years back, the price on these were about twice of what you would pay for that radio. But with some inflation and probably some improvements inside and outside, it is a good deal. Back to you.
Yeah, that one that Cliff has now was actually a special edition that was done. I used to have the piece of paper photo on my computer, but unfortunately that computer, the hard drive, went sour, and I've not been able to find it since. So I did have a piece on that particular radio, and it is a commemorative, and that's the reason why the case and the light is different.
Aha, okay. I probably knew that. Maybe I didn't know that, but it's good to have information in that mode to kind of let people know. It's like, no, somebody didn't go in and fool around with it. It actually came from the factory that way, and it is a limited edition, like a painting. Maybe they actually put a little sticker inside or something to let you know. Sounding good on the radio tonight. Hope you are enjoying this excellent June weather, and there's not too much noise going on. Not sure if you got on field day today, but you are probably like me, a 1 Delta SJV, so there's a contact for you.
Yes, no, I did not participate in field day at all, so the bands were not very good. It went early in the morning, and it was a lot of QSB, so yeah. Well, thanks for checking me in, and I've got another one that's warmed up. I'll probably get it on the air in just a second. 37.
All right, very good. We will be looking forward to that. Thanks for the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. They did make an AM version of that. I think it was about $200 lighter, and the transmitter was similar in style to the AM transmitter on the Mark II. Stepping up into the air chair from the green room. He doesn't know it yet, but that would be SWL 37. Hello, Chris.
And hello, Dennis, and hello, Ed. Glad to hear you out there. Yes, Dennis, I would like to check in a radio, if that's all right with you.
It is all right with me. I'm checking with the crew here. Chuck says it's okay. Charlie says it's okay. Chet says it's okay. So it must be okay. It would be, even if we said no, it would still be okay because this is the Old Tube Radio Network. Go ahead.
But did the cat say it was okay?
The cat would say it was okay to do anything as she was running on the audio board. That is why Cat is not up on the podium here. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, Dennis, thank you. Anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A. This is the 24-channel version of all those on this band here, on this type of radio here. But anyway, and we are running this here with the original handheld stock microphone. No amplifications, nothing. It's just what you hear is what's coming out of the backside. Over.
Yeah, truly stock radio. There's a way to put that into business band mode, get a few more watts out with sacrificing a bit of the audio. But you've got a good balancing act between enough power, enough forward movement on the meter, and for a stock microphonium, just tons of audio on your Channel 11 Super MC11A 24-channel radio. Go ahead, over.
Yeah, it just keeps on working. Oh, ain't like a Timex. Takes a beating, takes a licking, and still keeps ticking. That's how they say it?
I think so. They used to, now I wouldn't recommend it, but I think they used to strap that watch, like to a propeller on a boat? They used to do all sorts of things, to that watch, and then they would recover the watch and say it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. But I would not recommend that to be done with the Super MC11A, over.
I think I would have to agree with you there, Dennis. But anyway, Dennis, this is the only one I'm going to do tonight. We're in here watching a movie. I wanted to come in and at least check in my number one here and, the radio of my choices. But this is my loud one and my proud one. So that's it for me this evening. I'm going to watch the show with my wife and kind of enjoy, like you said, the beautiful June weather.
Chris?
Yes?
Oh, just wanted to say hello back.
Oh, hello, Ed.
And hello, radio. And I would say, Chris, that is actually one of your, we'll call it louder and prouder radios, because they're all loud and proud. But that's, like you said, the loudest and perhaps the proudest, and a fan favorite on the Old Tube Radio Network. Someone mentioning Foxman saying, great audio. Some thumbs up and A+s on that all the way around. Radio 4 tonight, the general radio telephone Super MC11A. Thanks for bringing it by. Jingle Singers, are they ready? They are ready. Then I'll stand by because there just might be another radio listening in. And back in about 20 seconds.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11 Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
OTR listening?
Number 7.
Number 7, again. What's my official time? I do write a time. I'm showing 9:36. That's Pacific Daylight Time. Radio 5, the item of interest. And let me clear out the general radio telephone from the rig database, go to the Rolodex, and await what I might be looking for. Go ahead.
Well, this one's only one piece, but it's big. It's the Tram TR7E, along with the Electro-Voice 638 microphone.
All right, looking for the Tram. The 27 Echo, we have pictures of that. I think I also have, let me just see, pictures of the microphonium. I was going to see if I could do that first, but I guess I might be a bit mistaken. So let's go, you know what we'll do? We'll go to the radio first, and then if I can find the microphone, because that's always cool to show that. So I got to click on that. There it is. It just popped on my screen. As we see the radio, and it's actually your radio, or it's the radio on which you were talking. Take a transmission.
Yes, yeah, I know you have the picture of the radio, which I am talking upon. The only thing that's been done to it since I bought it was a few tubes had to be replaced, and that's it. So, you know, from 1963, a few tubes, you can't hardly beat that.
No, you cannot. And these things are pretty, the tube radios are pretty forgiving if you maybe turn them on once a week. They actually do like to be turned on occasionally, so the service, a service of the Old Tube Radio Network is providing a way to do that might actually make people want to actually get in the radio room and turn something on, because sometimes, as you know, Coming out here to 11 meters, it's a little hard to find someone to chat with. So you always know on a Saturday there will be a place for your tube radio, like this one, the Tram TR27E, the last in the 27 series. In 1963, they were making some big changes coming up with the Tram Titan series, but these were very decent radios. Very decent radios is what I meant to say. Good receivers, good transmitters. I'm going to say super easy to work on, where you to at least want to pop the top and look at something, because there's plenty of space over.
There you go. Yeah, this is one of the radios that I saw when back in the 60s when they were new. And, you know, it's funny, when I remember looking at it then, it seemed to be much larger than it is now. But it's still a large radio, 5x7 speaker, and nice big S meter also.
Yes, which they carried over, I think, into the Tram Titan series. And there was a mobile version of this. I think it was TR70C. We checked those in. Actually, was it Eric? Somebody had one in a mobile that we've checked in from mobile. They had a sized down version of this for you could do your base to unit 1, but still keep all your radios in the Tram family. Putting in a good 20 over signal, and getting some good reports on the audio coming in on the Electro Voice microphone. Oh, there it is. Okay, I just found it. So let me, while I stay keyed down. All right, it's one of those pictures that has the raster, not the right. The Electro Voice Model 638 General Purpose Dynamic Microphonium. There's the side view. Is there a way to get... Okay, I can do it easy. There's the back view, 638 dynamic, impedance, high Z. Notice the high Z impedance. This microphone made for tube radios, a microphone used by the Collins crowd, and there's what I'm looking for right there, is that there's the microphone head, and very interesting. And that little bar across the front does not in any way mess up the audio going in. Take a transmission.
There you go. Yes, the 70C is a nice little radio. In fact, I have one of them. It was in my 63 Chevy pickup that was also teal, but I no longer have that pickup.
Okay, well, might still have the radio, and if not, maybe it went with the pickup. But you still have the Tram TR27 Echo that occasionally pops in on Old Tube Radio Network night, as it did tonight. And the fans of Tram, you single-handedly, although I know you're a Browning operator as well, kept the Brownings from doing a clean sweep tonight. So the Tram fans are applauding you for that. Another transmission for you, and we will be listening here to the Old Tube Radio Network.
Oh, well, thank you much. And with that, we'll kick back, take a listen, and see what other tube radios might show up.
Also listening for the skip. I really expect to hear somebody just popping in at S8 or S9 all of a sudden for no particular reason except the band is open, but not so much tonight. But it happened last night, and it happened on the Ditchbank's sideband net. Are the Jingle Singers ready for yet again? They are. So here we go, the Old Tube Radio Network.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic
Old Tube Radio.
for you.
And listening for radio number 6 or any and all check-ins. Tactical Michael in Foreland listening in. Hopefully you've gotten some field day contacts today during field day. Sitting out here in the San Joaquin Valley of California, where I guess I'm a Class 1D operator at the moment as well. OTR standing by.
Break OTR.
And the break OTR that sounds like you are home safe and sound over.
Yeah, well, I want to say reluctantly, I'm in the radio lounge, but being
being in here playing with vacuum tube radios is never a bad thing. I wish it were up in the mountains. But yes, I made it back, and I've got some nice hot radios for your listening pleasure, one of which I'm on right now, my Robin T123.
All right, heading over to the Rolodex for Robin. I was just over at the T section for the Tram, so it shouldn't be hard to find that. And you did say you were on... You said it. I just didn't. Wasn't listening. The Bravo model, over.
Nope. This is the regular Robin T123. The one I should have taken on the road today. Actually, I can't believe I didn't do that. To be honest with you, I at least could have checked in on the side of the road. No, this is the 123 with the Magic Eye tube. What is this? A 6RE13. Which was definitely the drawing point for the radio for me. I knew, I'd heard so many nice things about Trams and so many nice things about Brownings, and I wish I would remember exactly how it was that someone brought up Magic Eye tubes. But I remember started reading about them, checking them out online, all that good stuff, and saw this particular radio, I believe on eBay. And then thought, that's got one of those Magic Eye tubes I ought to start with for a first vacuum tube radio in the collection. And it went bye-bye. I don't know, I didn't bid on it or whatever, and it wound up in Harvey's hands, and probably not too long after that, it's made its way to the Radio Lounge.
Yes, and we here at the Old Tube Radio Network are the benefactors of that to be shared universally, on the Universal Media Network with everyone, and here locally as well. So any fans of Robin's tonight will be glad that you got one of the, it's the Panasonic second generation chassis. We hear a lot, but that is, let me get the picture back. That is a totally cool radio with the Magic Eye. We're actually looking at the side of the tube in the little cutout there. And when Mike is transmitting, he will check to see that he tries to make those upper and lower bright segments on the tube get as close together as possible at some point for 100% modulation. I should have known. When you keyed that radio, I know the sound of that 123. I think it's got the best audio out of both the Brownings. You do a good job. So yeah, I enjoyed your check-in from the Hill today. Like I said, we've got plenty of time, and we'll look forward to perhaps some remote mobile radio coming up. Back to you for another transmission on the T123, which indeed will go 12-volt DC if you have the proper cable.
Yeah, and thankfully I do have that extra cable. I do have to admit, though, that if memory serves, and please don't quote me on this, I think this radio, whenever I would use it on a battery or DC power, I think when I started trying that, I don't remember it making any unusual noises. I thought it would. I thought it operated, just like it does right now on AC, or at least it sounded like that. I know that the past couple of times I've used it on a car battery or whatnot, I think it. I hate to say this. I think it was making different noises, humming noises coming from deep within. I don't know. Maybe it's all the Windex I spray on it to try and clean the vacuum tubes. I don't know. But I don't think, from what I remember, I don't think anyone said anything differently about the audio that it was putting out. So I don't know. We'll do a test on that sometime in the near future.
Okay, good thing. The R-band meter looking good, and I popped the S meter up. My antennas, I just want to explain that all these stations that sound like they're 20 over, when I pull up the S meter and they're at S7, it's not a bad thing. My noise level's way down, so well above the noise. But that's just the way the audio sounds. It's like, man, I can't believe they're not 20 over. Well, it's just the audio sounds good. Band is quiet. And I'm a mud duck here with my antenna low, so I always rely on our tube radio operators to have some decent radio receivers, which they do. I'm marking you down as what? Oh, Radio 6 on the Robin T123. Getting some good comments from the listeners. Got a lot of people actually tuning in tonight. Hello to Mansfield. Is that... where were you guys at today? I'm trying to bring up the video, see what's happening. We're 70 degrees and cloudy up there in Maine, somewhere around Mansfield. Listening into the Old Tube Radio Network and the Robin T123. Well, we don't want to have any harm come to that radio, but if it's at all possible and safe to do, we will definitely look forward on a mobile journey coming up. Over.
Oh, yeah. Please count on it. All right, send it through. I'll get out of the way. I'm sure there might be a couple other folks wishing to check in. Thanks for letting me play with this toy. It's always a joy. And no, I didn't anticipate rhyming right there.
20.
Did I hear a Harvey item of interest? Over.
Possibly.
Okay, well. I am ready here. I do have a tube radio opening if you so desire. Over.
Okay, just for fun, we're going to do the Demco Star.
Wow, all right. And it has an interesting sound. So let me get you charted in as Radio 50. Man, we have not had a Demco check-in for a long time. And there was, maybe still is a group of fans of Browning Demco. I think it's still there. And someone mentioned a month or so ago, says, where are the Demcos? And if you remember, it was DD21 that had the Demco bell that actually used to ring the little bell whenever we got a Demco check-in. So if he's watching the replay, I'm sure he will have to ring the bell. Ring the bell and tell us what you, show us what you got again. Over.
Okay, this is the Demco Star, 23 channel, tunable receive and crystal transmit. This one is in a, well, it's got wooden sides, kind of like the Trams. The wooden sides were terrible, so I took them off and then bought some red oak and stained it, and then it looks, I think, really good. It also didn't have a top, and the top, it also had a 90-degree bend down the back to about halfway down. Bill had a Demco Star, so he took his top off, walked it across the street at the time where Bill's shop was, to this company that made stuff, and they made a top for me. It's not exactly the same as far as the ventilation on the top, but it's good, and radio looks really good, and I've had it for quite a while.
That's good. I'm glad we could hear it here. Back to the picture of the Demco Star. Yeah, it's very deceiving, has a Tram-esque look. I wonder if it was still Demco making that at the time, or was some, farm out to Tram or whatever. All right, we're going to talk about the audio and a couple things, because the radio is flat topping, and it's also doing an interesting super kind of modulated carrier thing. So we'll check on that. First thing is let's check the audio. Is there a way to bring your audio down a little bit?
Yeah. How's that right there?
All right, now it's not as loud. I mean, that radio is very loud. It was showing up at minus 15 on the LKFS. So take another transmission, but I think that fixed the flat topping.
Okay, I turned it down even more. How's that there?
All right, you could probably go up just a skosh, as they say in radio.
Okay, I'm lucky I marked it in skoches.
All right, I think that's good. You might be able to get even more, but that sounds like you. The flat topping is gone. Still getting up past S9 on the meter. I'm assuming you've got the range boost on, and it's that radio may have a low carrier. You could probably use a little bit more resting carrier.
Okay, I can't really do too much for that. Let's see, carrier-wise, it's about 4. Audio, swing in when I get close to about 8. That's all this thing will do.
Okay, then you can put the range boost back in because it brings it up. It works well. And we're talking about the rarity of the Brownings, depending on if you had an R27, S23, the Mark II, or the Golden Eagle. Now here, I would think is one rare radio. You don't see these come up much on Facebook. You probably don't see them come up much on eBay, or maybe you did. Maybe that's how you got it. And at least I've got a mic wiring, 1 ground, 2 audio, 3 push to talk. But the mic pin on that looks like it's at least a 4-pin microphone. Over.
Yes, the Amphenol 4-pinner. Let me see. Oh, it's got a switch. Excuse me, SRF switch. I hate those. Right now, I've got it on the power, and just have a modulation light. Let's see. Can't tell. Oh, I see. The wattage is up at top, and the S meter is down below. Okay, the S meter shows a hair under 4. Hello. Audio swinging past 5 on the radio's meter. Not bad. But then considering I have the range boost on, the modulator, I ought to back off the mic. That doesn't work too well. Anyway, that's the Demco Star, custom wood side, actual real solid wood, oak, red oak, and I stained it red oak too, so it's super deep red.
Oh, all right. Well, it does look, that's the, I'm assuming this is a late, or probably 1970 radio, 72. Could be before that, because when the Tram was a Titan 3 came out, it sort of had that dark look with the vinyl top, so maybe this is a pre-1970s radio. Dual channel on the transmit and receive. Does it have, the picture I have isn't that great, so does it have a spot switch to get you in there?
Yes. Next to the transmit light and the volume control is a calibrate switch.
Okay. Well, obviously you are on frequency, and you've got a switchable meter, a couple of lights. What's the light next to the microphone? I mean, I'm going to go to close it, but I think it's going to... So I can't read it. It almost looks like it says SWR, but I bet that's not the case.
To the left is the power light, power on, off. And then to the right of the mic plug is the transmit light, which flutters while I'm keyed up. And it probably isn't supposed to, but it does, and I get a kick out of it. The mod light works, so that's good. The meter light is red. Well, it's got a red seal behind it, but so it glows red instead of white. And the meter light, the channel selector lights on both right and left are in the red also.
Very interesting. Someone asked, and it's a good question. You may or may not know. I don't have a book for Sam saying where it might be, but the tube complement, or not the tube complement, which you might know, but the number of tubes contained therein, and I think you said it was just AM, but does it have sideband and neutral observation? Oh, interesting. Said it had the Collins filter. There's a couple of radios that had the Collins filter. I guess the Browning did, and I think the Courier Royale did, and some of the other ones. So I think you've got a Collins filter in there too.
I believe I do. It's on the top shelf, so I don't take the top off often. Tube complement, I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. I might do that before the show ends. There is a Star 2 by Demco. Looks totally different. And I won't even explain it, but if somebody wants to look up the Demco Star 2, Roman numeral 2 type radio, look that up and you'll go, are you kidding? Well, I've seen on eBay one, and somebody snagged it as soon as they could. But there are a couple of YouTube videos on the Star 2. But very interesting radio. 40 channels, and people should look at it if they're interested in Demco. But this is the 23-channel Demco Star.
As we say, 23 channels, no waiting, AM only, and a Demco with not a transmitter receiver, but a transceiver, but still with the dual controls for transmit and receive. And we've marked it down as our Radio 7 this evening. Good to have a Demco. It's been a long, I don't think this is the first Demco this year for sure. Over.
Now it might be. I don't know. I'm going to check out, if I can get a schematic on this, I'm going to check out the relay. And I'm going to see if it's possible to either replace the relay or do something where I can get it to switch from S units to power with the relay. Because right now it's on S units and the meter's dead. But the mod light's working, so I've got that. Anyway, I'll turn it back to you, and that should be it for me tonight.
Okay, very good. Good radios tonight. And oh my gosh, is it 10 o'clock already? I'll put out a call before we do counting and mounting to the Squamish crew. If they're around, I'll bring up the remote listener device here. And if you guys are on 27085, where it's... yeah, very quiet evening up there. No skip at all. I can't hear myself. So, but if you guys are on, we'll listen for you and give us a shout here on the Old Tube Radio Network. Neutral observation, looking for a power cord for a Polycom 2. Not sure if it's a typical Jones style, possibly not. So, all right. Jingle singers would like to do what they do best. We'll see if we can't get a check-in or two before we sign out. We will be looking for Radio 8 if it exists, and we will be listening for the jingle singers right now.
What are the magic numbers?
27.085 megahertz, channel 11.
Are the magic letters?
OTR.
Right here in
Fresno, California.
Radio Magic.
Old Tube Radio.
For you.
OTR listening.
How about another Robin?
We would like that over.
All right. Well, I'm going to take advantage of the instant on feature on this particular one. It's my Robin T123, and yes, I am reminding myself I've got to scream into this thing, which I really don't like doing, especially at this hour at night. But it's my Robin T123, which is so hot right now. I'm not kidding. You could probably make some good pancakes on the top of this guy.
Oh, hey, pancakes sound good. You don't need to go to IHOP. You can just head over to the Robin and bring your blueberry pancake batter. I will go to the Rolodex to get the 123B. I saw a signal coming in from Squamish, so don't go way up there, guys. We will come back to you after this radio and get an audio confirmation. Radio number 8, the T123B. I'm fine. Okay, we'll get the box. Sometimes people are more interested in the box and or, thanks there, Chris Callahan, you may find the box goes for more than the radio does when you check into eBay. The pretty green radio with lots of lights and dials that sounds like this. Back to you.
There it is. I got to tell you, I'm kind of grateful for what I just did. I was taking my hand on top of this radio just to kind of feel where it was hottest, and I thought, wait a minute, what's in back of this guy? I just found a really cool magazine, and an issue of Excellence, which is my favorite magazine out there. It's probably not such a smart idea to have a magazine kind of fall in back of one of these hot radios, but luckily nothing happened. But this particular Robin, I think it's always so curious. Well, it's unique in a couple different ways, and I know that there's might be some other folks that want to check in here, so I'll just make this really quick. My other Robin had the Magic Eye tube on it, and I just love that. It only told you what kind of signal you were putting out. I read somewhere, and for the life of me, I can't remember where it was. Magic Eye tubes, I guess, according to this one thing I read, they were kind of a cost-cutting measure to use versus the regular needle analog S meters that everyone seems to use these days. On the regular 123, yeah, there's a regular needle S meter on there to tell you, what kind of signal is coming in, as there is on this one. But I guess the logic was once this T123B is in Bravo, once this came along, I guess it was much cheaper just to leave, the S meter in there. And I guess there was a modulation on this, but I guess the point is, at one point in time, the Magic Eye tubes were cost-cutting measure, and now they're certainly they've switched positions on that. Good new old stock Magic Eye tubes are just outrageously expensive. Where the needle meters are a dime, you get 100 of them, whatever.
Well, that's a good point, and I believe probably something happened between when the two equalized out, when finding a space to wire up the meter and putting one in, and in the early 60s, because that's when you see most of the Magic Eye tube radios in lieu of the meter, and at some point in the mid 60s where they probably started sourcing meters out of Japan or something where the price came way down. And like you said, the tube started going up, and then it was like somebody did the math and said, you know what? Can the tube, doggone it, and we'll find a spot for the meter. So interesting, and I think a certainly decent explanation for why we don't see as many. And then, of course, if anybody's got an old SWL Zenith or even audio gear, I had a reel-to-reel tape recorder that has that Magic Eye tube that shows your audio. It's just a good way to do it if you already have tubes in the rig. Radio number 8, the Robin T123B. Made in Japan, Panasonic chassis from 1972 to 1976, of course, 1976 being that year when the FCC said, you must put out the 40-channel radios. 11 tubes in this one for the tube counters, and a 12AX7 in the audio. Always sounding good. Back to you for transmission. Looks like oldtuberadio.com has operator manual and schematics, and then we'll give a shot so we can get the Squamish station. They were looking good on the scope here. So back to you, Mike. Thanks for bringing it by, and always enjoy the Robin. Someone said, and I didn't mention this, that it belongs in the green room. I wonder why. Over.
20.
Okay, well, there it is. Thanks for letting me check in. Appreciate it. 73 to all. From the Radio Lounge. Have a good evening.
All right, sounding good. And 20, you will be, you have a comment? You have a next radio?
No, comment. Did you say somebody needed a plug or wanted a plug, whatever, for a Polycom 2?
Yes, someone had mentioned that, and let me see if I can scroll up and get the exact thing, but it was, anyone have a power cord for a Polycom 2? And I don't know if there were various flavors of the 2, like there were for the N and the 8, but they're all kind of the same radio with different channels, but different crystal selections. But yeah, it's a Polycom Roman numeral 2.
No, it's the number 2. Okay, the plug is a cinch plug. The plug that the person wants is number or letter S as in Sam 310 Charlie Charlie Tango S 310 CCT 10-pin plug, and you find them on eBay. The easiest way to find these plugs is just type in the number of pins you want, and then you gotta sometimes scroll through and see the right configuration. In this case, I happen to know what it was. So S310 CCT, you can find them on eBay, and the S is for socket, and CCT with the number 310 in the middle, and the pins are the right configuration, brand new.
All right, we like the right configuration frequency, so do a search for 10-pin. I guess you could just confirm that and go into the back of your Polycom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and look for that Sierra 310 Charlie Charlie Tango. All right, good information. I want to say 73 to CB Lounge 2112, leaving us from the Big Island tonight. We will be leaving here soon, but want to make sure we impart as much information as possible. All right, good information, Harvey. Thank you. Also, let's try, and I'll bring the volume up again. I know there's a bit of a delay going on with the uplink, but Squamish, let's see if we can't hear unit, and is it 485, 483, which we heard on the Ditch Banks sideband net live and direct. I've got the audio up on the remote receiver listening on channel 11. So when you hear this, go ahead and give a transmission, and we will get you checked in live and direct on the old tube CB network, where it has been very quiet on the DX tonight. And that doesn't mean the band is closed. It just means we're just not hearing it. But here we go. Oh, I saw a key up. But no audio. All right, standing by for radio.
Dennis, this is 428 and the mobile up here in Squamish, up north of Squamish, checking in tonight. Thank you for doing this, and just want to shout out to everybody out there that's listening. This is where we checked in last night on lower 36, and I'm gonna check in my old realistic 451. And an Antron, or I should say an Antron, a Striker SRA-10 on the roof. Thank you for doing this, Dennis, and I'll pass it back to you, 73.
All right. Let me turn down, there we go. Let me turn this spaceship audio there. Nice audio. That Ret Radio puts out some good audio. We're looking at your signal coming through right at 27085. And some good modulation. So, got you checked in. Always good to hear you guys coming through. And yeah, good job last night on the Ditch Banks sideband net, coming through on the sideband with no problem. So always appreciate you running into the radio room to say hello, radio. And we will do it live and direct when conditions permit. So thanks for joining us on OTR. Anybody else needing to get checked in or have a radio before we do some counting and amounting here on the Old Tube Radio Network? Okay, boy, what a quiet evening on the bands tonight. So let's, as they say somewhere, not a big fan of this phrase, but we'll say it anyway. We'll tie the ribbons on the Old Tube Radio Network tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals were on the shortwave listeners tonight, 77 it appears, with 17 on page 120 on page 2, 17 on page 3, and 23 on page 4. And radios tonight, we had 8, with the Brownings taking an early lead to almost be toppled by the Robins, but not quite. Starting off with the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 from the collection of Green Arrow. Going to the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68 from the Beagle, the Golden Beagle, I should say, from the collection of Harvey. And then a Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB with the Centennial Browning Eagle D104, Golden, I should say, Browning Golden Eagle D104 from Mr. Ed. Radio 4 came in. Chris on the general radio telephone, Super MC 11A from beautiful downtown Burbank, our tram of the evening. Thank you, Ed, for that. The Tram TR27 Echo from 1963. The first of the Robins, the T123 with the Magic Eye. Thanks, Mike, for bringing that in. And he has mentioned that we might be hearing it mobile one of these Saturday evenings. We'll listen for that. The rare but good-sounding Demco Star from Harvey, the radio. Maybe it's a Everett used to call the sonar a baby Yesu, but the way it was, though, maybe the Star is the baby Tram. Hard to say. It might be like a Titan. 4, the Robin T123, which you heard moments ago from Mike, also sounding good. The Old Tube Radio Network, beaconing from Central California most Saturday evenings, starting at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. One of the many venues between social media and your radio and YouTube and whatever, where people get on the air and share their knowledge and their radios and whatever it is that we have. So encouraging you to get on the air wherever it may be. If you are looking to upgrade and or perhaps get your amateur radio license, a great time to do it. We have probably a good 4 or 5 years of propagation, and so you will want to think about that. In addition, as an addition to your 11-meter escapade. 73, everybody, from OTR, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Good show, Dennis. Catch you next week. Oh, and by the way, did you look inside?
It's hard to look inside because it's way over there. I could take what I should have done was in my last old buzzer transmission and then get up and see if I can actually see. But it really needs to have, I think I need to have the top off to actually see the tube correctly. I'm not sure. But I did want to mention, and I mentioned it previously, but I didn't cap it off, that thanks to Harvey for putting an eye, an ear, and a hand into the reverse preamp, so it's back up on the table. Looking good on the meters, looking good on the REA, and functioning quite nicely, so maybe it will hang out another 10 years without incident.
Appreciate it, Dennis. Anytime. Your meter reading has not changed at all, and I'm on a Browning where S meter readings are iffy and all over the place and such, so yours never budged, so goody.
All right, back to the foot switch. I had to move the little portable fan off the top. Now, there's no way I can see. I'm looking straight down the top, and you can see the plates, the grids. You can see the heaters, I'll put it that way, glowing nicely, but I cannot see if there's any wackiness. But it seems to take a licking and keep on ticking, at least tonight.
Well, that's good. I like that. Okay, catch you next week.
All right, field day is still going on for those stations staying up late. It's usually the newcomers get the overnight shift, and it goes through tomorrow morning until 10 or 11. So if you want to get a point or give a point or maybe head outside with the radio and a piece of wire, you can still do so officially. Oh, and I'm still chatting here. Boston 97. I think I proxied you in, or did I? I'm going to check. I did for some reason. Somebody did. But anyway, you are official because I see your post before we turn things off. So good night, everybody. It was good to hear from Squamish tonight. The Old Tube Radio Network saying 73 until next week. Is it 4th of July? No, it will not be 4th of July just yet. That's on a Tuesday. So stay safe and stay sane. 73. All right. Okay.